Shalom, everyone, to Living with the Times. One of the most beautiful customs of Rosh Hashanah is on Rosh Hashanah night, we eat a whole series of different foods, call them symbolic foods, and we recite with it a Yehi Ratzon. May it be your will that some intrinsic property of the food that we have chosen will be a sign of what we would like to be blessed with this year. Some energy or some blessing that we'd like to incorporate in our lives. And in the Talmud, this is called Simanei Milta, that these foods are called signs, and they are significant signs. So the idea is, and this is a deep understanding altogether, that practically the first thing we do in the new year after we say our prayers and we make kiddush, we sanctify the day, we eat these foods, and they're common foods. They're nothing special, but we attach great meaning to them. They become symbolic. They become significant to us. So this is just a beautiful way to start the year, where we see in potential everything is significant. Everything is meaningful. It depends on what kind of intent we put into it, how we look at the world. So this idea of signs, these foods are called significant signs. So God is sending us signs all the time. And how does God talk to us today? Everyone asks. In the Torah, in the Tanakh, God is talking to people all the time. So we ask, how does God talk to us today? And the answer is through the circumstances of our life. As our lives unfold, God is talking to us very, very clearly and sending us signs all the time. The question is, do we understand the signs? Do we see them? Do we know how to interpret them? But we are getting signs all the time. And likewise, we are sending signs to God all the time through our thoughts, our speech, and our action. We're sending signs of what we would like to do, how we would like to proceed in life, what we would like to accomplish, what is important to us. And we're sending signs back to God all the time. So I've chosen just 4 of the foods that we eat on Rosh Hashanah. Many people have many different customs of which foods and different things to say, but here are some of the most common ones, is dipping apples in honey. So first of all, the word for apple is tapuach. And the same letters as tapuach, when interchanged, is poteach, which means to open. And in the Ashrei psalm that we say every day, the 145th psalm, we say, poteach et yadecha umazbia l'kol chai ratzon. We ask God every day, open up your hand and provide sustenance for all that are living. Provide ratzon, willpower, to all that are living. So one of the first things we do is we dip honey, and we're really hoping for a new opening in life. We're asking God, open the gates of compassion. And that's connected with dipping it in honey. Honey is sweet. And we have this concept called sweetening the din, hamtakat hadinim, sweetening the din. And on Rosh Hashanah, one of the images or visualizations that we have is that we ask God to get up from the throne of judgment and sit on the throne of compassion. And this is what's called sweetening the judgment through compassion. So that's a little bit about apples and honey. And of course, we bless people, Shana Tova Umetuka, to have a sweet year. Another one of the fruits that we eat is a pomegranate. When you open a pomegranate, it has these sparkling seeds. And some say it even has 613 seeds, the amount of Torah-mandated mitzvot. And so the pomegranate reminds us and gives us a clear sign that all of the mitzvot can shine for us, can sparkle if we look at it that way. It's a new year. We don't have to do everything from rote and routine. Everything can have a new sparkle to it. It could be a jewel. The seeds of a pomegranate are like small jewels. And another insight of the pomegranate is there's an expression that even the empty ones in Israel are full of mitzvot like a pomegranate. The empty ones are those that we might judge to not be so observant, not so religious, not so with Jewish tradition. So our sages are telling us, don't be so quick to judge. That even those that we think maybe do not have mitzvot, they're full of mitzvot like a pomegranate. Another food that we eat is fish. And the fish in the story of creation are the first to be blessed, to be fruitful and multiply. And so our Yehi Ratzon, may it be your will that we should be fruitful and productive like the fish. And of course, we all want to be productive. We all want to fulfill our potential. And one last one that I'll speak about is having the fish head, a head of a fish. And here the Yehi Ratzon, may it be your will, that we should be like the head and not like the tail. In other words, we should be a leader. We should not be a copier. But there's a deep connection here in the word Yisrael. If you permute the letters of Yisrael, it spells out Li Rosh. To me is a head. And so here, what in Yiddish is called the Jewish cup, a Jewish mind. So we eat a fish's head and we ask God, let us use our head. Help us fulfill everything that is possible for us to fulfill, all of our potential. So may this be a sweet year, a year that God opens up all the gates for us, and it should be productive, and we should all fulfill our potential.